to another episode of the BigAsp Cornhole podcast. Sean and Dane are back with you once again.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
Oh, just back at it.
Back at it.
Back at it.
Before we go into everything, we took last week off. Our grandmother had passed away.
Another legend.
Ruthie, little Bumpa as we knew her by. She was one of my best friends. She was an absolute legend of a person. She became friends with pretty much anyone that she ever met. So we're going to miss her dearly. The outpour of support of people reaching out to us was overwhelming. We can't thank you guys enough for that. It was unexpected.
Awesome.
It was unexpected, but thank you to everyone that took the time to reach out to us for to give us their sympathy. I don't know what else to say, but you guys, much appreciated.
Yeah, it made the sting of missing out on the Clash a little bit easier.
Yeah, man. And that was literally, listen, it was something that we've been planning on going to for a year, literally for a year.
Yeah.
We've been planning on this. You went to it last year, and then this year, it's just the worst time in the world. But if there's anything we hope that we show while we record and how we go about things is we firmly believe family first. There's no way we were going to miss out on any of this stuff. It was an epic weekend in all the wrong ways, I guess. Anytime our family gets together, it's 3 or 4 hazy nights and days the next few days.
Yes, it is.
But thank you to everyone that reached out to us. It was greatly appreciated. So, before we get into everything else, all right, we're not going to break tradition.
Of course not. Not on National Beer Drinking Day, Sean.
So, Dane, tell the folks what we're sipping on at home in a segment we call What You Drinking?
What you drinking?
Well, we got to give a shout out to our good buddy Cito Soto. Hooked us up at his clam bake with some brews. And it's unique, that's for sure. He said this is the good stuff. So here, let me go and pop that bad boy off.
While Dane's popping that Cito, we're thinking of you. We're hoping.
Yes.
We know you had some health issues come up on Saturday.
We've been in talks with him. He seems to be in good spirits and doing okay.
We're
so
thinking of you, man.
hang in there, buddy. We'll we'll keep looking out for you and wish you the best. But this is Ce n'est pas la fin du monde.
Ooh.
I took French, people. Okay. Couldn't tell you what it means, but it's 9.5%. It's a Belgium-style IPA. And
first sip review.
All right, so something I've noticed about European IPAs, malt forward, like very much so. Way different than IPAs we're used to out here, but that's delightful.
Oh,
it's very good.
That's good.
It's very, very good. Sean, what are you sipping on?
I am actually drinking a beer that was provided to us by Mr. Mike Carwin, Corn Tricks, as we might know him by. He sent us a whole gaggle of fucking beer.
This is
just
all
sent
that's
to our
left.
house. Yeah, we have a few left. So I wanted to keep like 1 or 2 of each one just so we can show it off on the show. But Mike Carwin, thank you very much. You're a legend. We greatly appreciate it. We enjoyed many beers that night that it came in. Just happened to be that was the night that I was hosting everyone at our house. We had it catered. Everyone came over, and I think just the women alone went through 12 bottles of wine.
Yeah,
we went through a bottle of Jameson. I mean, it was an epic night.
And that was night 1.
That was the first night.
Night 1.
Yeah, that was the first night. So yeah, but yeah, thank you very much. So anyway, I'm sipping on. It's from Oscar Blues Brewery. It's called Oney. It's the Oney IPA. It's a hazy IPA. It is only 100 calories. A little bit lighter than what we're used to. It's only 4.0 alcohol by volume.
That's okay,
but
though.
It is refreshing. It is hot here today. It's just what I needed. So, thank you very much, Mike Harwin. And,
of course, as always, brought to you by Colorado Cornhole Connection. You need some sweet boards, go to iHeartCornhole.com. Use code BIGASP10. You'll get yourself 10% off.
Well, Cornhole family, we obviously, as always, have more audio gold planned for you today. We have 3 series of bags to review by Swag Bags. We have Emerald, we have Ruby, and we have Wicked. They're great bags. I'm excited to go over them with you guys in a little bit.
Hells yeah.
We are going to touch on the new ACL Bag policy / caveat. It's not too new, but it was kind of a new caveat that some people might not have caught. So we're going to kind of just talk about that a little bit, just kind of fill everyone in. We're going to talk a little bit about ACL news, stuff that's come out. And then just today, Trey Ryder, Anthony Ayon, and Mike Morton, three well-known people in the ACL organization, they posted their top 10 singles list, like the preseason top 10 list of where they think that people might fall. Obviously, a way too early type of preview. So we're going to review their rankings, give you guys our thoughts and who we think had the best overall rankings, and then be on the lookout at harddragpush.com on Thursday. I've actually been working very hard for like the last week putting together a preseason power ranking. It's going to be a top 10 for singles, doubles, and then another little certain caveat. And then we're going to also have some honorable mentions. But I've been working hard on it. I had no idea the ACL was going to drop their stuff today.
Yeah.
I saw it and my heart sank a little bit. But you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm still rolling mine out. Mine's better anyways. And it's probably more accurate. So...
ooh, fighting words.
But yeah, all right. But before we jump into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our Cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Brought to you by Airwolf Athletics. Get yourself some swag, sexy ass hats. Deshaun, you have that jersey that is just phenomenal. Like one of the coolest jerseys I've ever seen. Go to airwolfathletics.com. Get yourself one. Use code BigAsp. Get yourself 10% off.
Speaking of this jersey, it is from Dustin Pro. They did a fundraiser for St. Jude's. We actually, I don't know if you knew this, but I donated money on behalf of BigAsp Cornhole Podcast for it. And so he put our logo on the back of the jersey. They raised a bunch of money for St. Jude's. It was a good cause, and he sent me a jersey, so it's beating the odds. I loved it. I saw it hanging in my closet. I'm like, today it seems like a good day to wear it.
And, I decided to grab the Mad Dog Baggers jersey here.
Give him a shout out, man.
Courtesy of LaJuan Richards and Dennis Williams and all those Mad Dog Baggers out there. Oh, woof. Let's go, boys.
Let's go. At this point in your life, if you haven't added a set of the sexiest bags around, you're doing something wrong. That's right, folks. Blackjack Cornhole bags. You get free shipping, amazing customer service. It's really a no-brainer. So stop what you're doing. Go grab your gear from blackjackcornhole.com and grab yours today. Code BIGASP will save you 10%. I don't know if you guys caught it. I don't even know if they're still available, but they released a sweet plaid pattern from Blackjack. Man, that got me in the mood for fall.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but I'd never thought a plaid bag would look dope, and those things
fucking,
look so cool.
Listen, it reminded me of like some 70s retro couch shit, but it turned out nice.
It was awesome.
The black and orange one,
just
with the logo.
How about the green and gold?
Done.
Sexy as fuck.
Easy. Okay, so Dane, we got to throw this weekend.
We did. I mean, it wasn't where we wanted to.
It wasn't. So we didn't get to go to the Clash, as we alluded to before, just with all the family stuff going on. Cito Soto was nice enough. We happened to bump into him. We stopped out at a blind draw on Wednesday. Donnie McPhee was rolling through town as he was traveling across the country going to the Clash.
Yep.
So we met him up at a blind draw. We didn't participate in the blind draw. We got there a little late. We did throw a few games afterwards, just kind of for fun. Yeah. But then we saw Cito there. He invited us to go to his fundraiser event, and he said, just come out, play doubles, just have some fun. So yeah, we went out there and played. We did pretty well.
I mean, with the conditions of that wind, I think we threw pretty damn well.
So the first game we had, we were both kind of feeling it. We won 21-1. I mean, we were both feeling it. I mean, I don't think we had a round worse than 9.
And then came our just typical, like, what happens at every tournament we seem to go to. We had to sit for like an hour and 20 minutes.
It was crazy, man.
No boards open to practice on, so we're just kind of.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a little salty. So Jesse, if you're listening to this, Matt, if you're listening to this, I gave you guys a little shit. They had played 3 straight games on the same boards, and they didn't sit, and we had to go up and face them. Mm-hmm. It was our fault. I had mentioned walking up to the boards, I'm like, hey, maybe we should make them change sides. We didn't. We were feeling confident after the first game. I played like absolute dog shit. The wind started picking up a little bit. I had a hard time. I didn't play very well.
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
That wind was so unpredictable, and you were on the hard side. I was going with the wind, you were going against it.
Yeah,
so I just almost had to lob it
correct.
up there.
So
and
the winds it was gusting pretty hard at times. At times it'd be calm, but it was slightly uphill against the wind. Now the next game we had, I actually got into it with some chick.
Yes.
Pretty ridiculous. We had been waiting again.
It's a common theme with Sean people.
Listen,
right?
I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I was just kind of being a smartass, and then she took it to a different level, and I don't respond well to that. But we had been sitting for a while, like, again, probably 40 minutes or so.
After our first loss, we had to sit for another
We were
45
sitting for a
minutes
while, and then the team, we were warming up next to the match that we knew we were going to be facing the winner of. That match ended up taking forever because they were waiting for one particular female to show up to the freaking board because she had to get a beer, then go to the bathroom, and I'm not even kidding you, it was 25-minute wait.
Yeah.
Just for them to start the match. Their match went forever. They finally, this girl and the guy, they snuck out a win. We had to face them. We're right next to them. We hop over to the board, be like, hey, we're up. Let's go. And she's like, I want to grab a beer. So all I said to the girl was like, seriously? And she turned around. She's like, and she kind of went off.
Don't get between people and their beer, Sean.
I didn't like her attitude, so I might have chirped back a little bit. Her dude then started chirping back at me. He sucked at trash talk, so I told him like he should just stop while he was ahead because like he was gonna lose that battle anyways. The best feeling in the world, because I tend to play a little bit better when I get fired up. Okay, I tend to focus a little more. Now, me and the guy that I was throwing against, the wind picked up dramatically. I mean, if we got 6 points in a round, like it was a good round.
Yeah.
I hit a few shots late where we needed to hit the shots. We went up pretty big. They climbed back. The girl, I'll give her credit. She's really good.
Oh yeah,
she played really. But you got hot as shit. I mean, you kind of got locked in, held us in there, and then I did not want to lose that match. I wanted to.
I mean, anytime you get into it, I know you're fired up.
Yeah. So I think we at the end of it all, I think we ended up tying for like 5th or something. It was
and
fine.
that was only. I mean, we had to forfeit our last game because we had to roll.
I had to roll. Like, listen, I have 2 kids
life.
at home. Like, the tournament I thought was supposed to start at 1. It didn't start till like 3:30. I thought I'd be home around 5:36. I mean, by the time we lost that last game, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad I got to go out, see some people, throw
Absolutely.
some matches.
That's really what it was all about. I
mean,
got to see a couple big names out there that we normally don't see
got to
around.
throw a bunch against Chad Webb and Isom. Played them actually really well.
Yeah.
I felt like I was throwing the bag well. You know what I mean? Like, and then just the wind picked up. It poured rain at one point, so the conditions were tough. But all in all, I feel like I'm throwing a decent bag now again.
Yeah, I mean,
and again, this was my first live tournament since Erie.
I'm excited to get back to league on Thursday. Throwing every week, I think. That's going to be the little confidence boost that I need. I've been throwing the bag pretty well as of late, so I just like to see it come to fruition in some competition.
Absolutely. And then, obviously, I've been, whenever I can, we have so many freaking bags that have been sent to us, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're waiting for your bag to be reviewed, just be patient. If you're wanting to kind of get an idea of when you're up, just reach out to me. We're trying to go through all these bags as best we can.
Don't reach out with attitude. Believe me, we're working on it. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Some ACL news that came up. Just some new team pairings. The first one that I was kind of excited by, 2 of our favorite dudes, Chad and Chad. Chad Webb and Chad Braun. They announced that they're going to be partnering up this ACL season. 2 very, very solid players. They decided they're going to be signing with Toss Tech Cornhole.
An awesome sign.
A cornhole company that's relatively, I guess they're kind of relatively unknown. We've reviewed their bags before.
I think they're known very well, like locally in their area.
I think they're like upstate New York, I believe. They make a very quality product, and
Absolutely.
they're in that position now where they're ready to make a leap. They wanted a team that's going to take a chance on them. And what I like about them is they're willing to listen to feedback about what do you guys want. Let's try to put something together that's going to help you guys be most successful.
Yeah, and honestly, both the Chads they spoke very highly of the process that they're going through with them, and I'm very happy for the 2 of them. We had, Chad Braun reached out to us, seeing if we knew of anyone that might have needed a partner. We just threw Chad Webb's name out there, and I think they got the ball rolling a little bit for him, and very happy to see those 2 because again, they're 2 of the nicest guys in cornhole, but just silent assassins on the board.
Yep.
Both of them can just be sneaky good. So it's gonna be a fun team to watch out for.
Timmy Jonas announced that he's gonna be playing this year with the OG Chucky Love. It is gonna be entertaining to watch that duo play. They're gonna be throwing Reynolds bags.
And from what Chucky said, they have to alternate each tournament with what each other wears. So the first one is tracksuits. For Chucky, and then the next one, Chucky's gonna have to sport the short shorts.
I can't wait to see that.
So I mean, I think we're in for some fun with those 2. But you're about to say that Chucky is still nasty because
he's great. He's just very consistent.
Yes, he is.
He's very, very consistent. I mean, he's been a pro since it's been around. I mean, he just seems to keep having solid performances, especially in doubles.
Yeah.
He's just a very, very good doubles player. Just down the middle, he just kind of gets locked into that zone, and just a great all-around guy.
Oh yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Victor Glass.
Yes.
A ACL rookie. The Kid, as he's kind of known by.
We've
He's
talked about him a couple
somewhat
times on the
local.
show.
I think he's from a little bit south of here.
Yeah.
But he
Kid's a
is
nasty thrower.
Great thrower. He is going to be playing with Dalton McClem.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a very interesting pairing.
And it does.
Because Glass has a similar game to what Kyle Malone had.
Yeah.
So I think it's a smart pairing. I don't know what bags they're going to be throwing. I know Victor Glass typically threw BG beforehand.
Yeah, usually BG. I feel like they might have announced it. I just can't remember.
I might have missed it too. One of the big kind of headline signings was actually by Fire Cornhole. They had signed Kaylee Hunter, which I think is an excellent sign. Obviously, it makes sense with Jamie Graham already being part of the team. But her pro partner in pro and in women's is going to be Megan Maupin. If you're not familiar with Megan Maupin, she has already made noise. She partnered up with Christine Papke last year in some women's events, and they won. She is an absolute nightmare on the boards. They play a very similar style game. They both throw kind of like dudes, right? They throw a hard bag.
Yeah.
They throw a hard, high RPM type bag. I could definitely see them throwing like some sort of Fire Assault. I know that Fire is recently releasing their new carpet bag. I'll be interested to see which bag they go with. But those two, out of any like two females, right, playing doubles together in the pro division, they might have the best chance to make some serious noise.
Yeah, because I mean we've seen Maupin's always had great success on the ACO stage.
Yeah.
And I mean she's used to that level of competition, and Kaylee has just become so much better in a short amount of time that she's only going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, look who she has to face on a daily basis.
And those two are going to be playing in women's and in pro, so they're going to quickly develop some sort of chemistry.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that pairing. I've heard whispers about it for a long time. I kept reaching out to Jason, trying to find out like when this was going to be official. He was playing coy with me, acting like he didn't know what he was talking about. But yeah, I think it was a very smart signing. I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
and obviously,
Megan,
Maupin's a blackjack girl, so
yeah, I've
excited.
always loved watching her throw because she's just a beast. She is brutal on the boards.
Another big signing from so we had kind of mentioned a little bit, and I don't know if Mark Pryor listens to our show. I doubt it, but I've made a few comments before about how it was another team that left Ultra Cornhole. They've made some big signings recently. I gotta give them props. The biggest one to me that kind of put them back in contention for getting their bags on like the national stage was when they signed Tanner Halpert and Eric Zockline to ACO studs. Tanner Halpert has already won a world championship in the advanced division before they separated pro and advanced. He's widely regarded as like a top 5 player in the world in any tournament he goes in. Eric Zockline, he's kind of like an OG. When we had him on the show, he said this was an opportunity for him to kind of show that he hasn't lost it. To kind of show that the OGs in the game can still hang with the younger crowd. They had a lot of success last year in the ACO. I'm excited to see what kind of chemistry and how much noise they make early on in the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, listen, there's going to be teams that I think early on in the season, we're going to have one or two of these new teams that, they're new pairings that might make some noise. But I think in general, we're going to see the teams that played well together last year, they're going to immediately translate at that first national.
Oh, yeah.
I think Tanner and Eric kind of fall in that same realm only because they're going to already have that instant chemistry.
Absolutely. And, for all those out there, they're like, oh, yeah, but they came from the ACO, who's not nearly as good. Those two have been dominant in the ACO since Matt and Brett Guy were in there, since all these other pros came over. They were already up there as a top 2, top 3 team in the ACO.
In the ACO World Championships in the advanced division this year, there were some absolute assassins in there.
Yeah.
You had Josh Holland, you had the Gore brothers, you had Alex Rawls, who ended up winning it over Josh Holland. Tanner Halpert, I think, took 3rd or 4th in that. He's always seems to be in the mix, so I'm excited for that. I think Ultra got a big signing there. It's smart.
Yeah, he'll be fun to watch with a Viper in his hand too.
I'm assuming that's what they'll throw.
maybe Butter. I don't know.
He usually threw like an all slide, so I can see him wanting to throw something like a Viper, maybe a Viper C, something like that. But it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this new bag policy caveat, okay?
Please.
I believe
it's the second time you said caveat today on the episode.
I'm gonna look up the exact date in I think I put it in the blog, but so basically what happened was there were a few bag makers that were upset, right? I'd been hearing through the grapevine, and I found out that they had received emails from the ACL's licensing department basically saying you're in violation of your ACL license agreement that you signed to basically get your bag stamped, right? So you send bags to either be competitive stamped or to have the pro stamp. Rec bags, I think they're free to send in. Like you just have to get the stamp or whatever.
Basically, just have to meet the specs of.
So basically, what this new policy, how it changed last year was basically last season when they first implemented the bag stamp policy. Let's say I own, let's say Reynolds, right? Reynolds bag. I got the Pro Advantage, and I got a stamped Pro stamp. Well, there was a certain bag that was gaining popularity. It was called the Pro AV, which is still available. If Jeff Reynolds would have released that bag for sale for non-ACL events, let's say the ACL, last year, that Pro AV bag would not have been eligible to be stamped by the ACL this year. So bag makers had a choice. Like, okay, if this is a series that I don't think I'm going to have next year anyways, I might as well release it to the wild, get rid of all this stuff. But if I think like I think this bag could take off. I think I want to get it stamped next year. They couldn't sell it, so they just kind of had to sit on it and wait. This year, that's changed. If you are now getting one series of bags stamped by the ACL, they're basically saying you are an ACL approved manufacturer of some sort. You are no longer allowed to sell any other bags unless every bag has a stamp on it. Now, you don't have to pay to get the rec stamp, which is the lowest. So you have Pro, you have Comp, and then you have Rec.
And what are the prices for each one?
You put me on the spot here.
I mean, I know Pro's like $1,000 per series.
I think it's $1,000 per series. I think competitive is a little bit less than that.
I was thinking for some reason I thought it was like $250.
It might be something like that. But the Rec it's free. But it's free to kind of get them stamped. But what they're saying is now you're either all in or you're all out. So you cannot have any other series of bags that you're going to be selling unless it has the ACL stamp on it. Now, the little bit that they don't mention, like in this whole grand scheme of things, that you had to pay attention to last year when they first came out of the stamp process, is that if you have a bag that is ACL rec stamped, the ACL gets 5% of the royalty on those sales. That's what some of the bag makers were upset about. You have some bag makers that make excellent ACL products, but then they also make a good portion of money selling like stick and slick, old school type bags in bulk to people who are just kind of getting into the game. But now, if they want to continue to do that, they have two options. Either you slap the ACL rec stamp on it, and then 5% of the royalties are going to go back to the ACL, or another caveat is you would have to technically then create a whole other company that's separate.
Yeah. That doesn't have any ACL approved bags, but it also doesn't have the name behind it to sell said bags.
So I mean, listen, I get it. You can make an argument either way. I really think you can make an argument either way. I think the easy argument to make right away in the flash, the quick judgment, if you want to say it, would be that the ACL is just money hungry and they want to grab. What I think the ACL, what they're basically trying to say is, if you want to market your company and say, hey, we sell ACL approved bags, great. You can say that all you want and use our likeness, our image. You can put our logo all over your website and try to promote business that way, but you can't also be selling other stuff that doesn't have our logo on it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be an ACL manufacturer, you are an ACL only manufacturer, and your bags need to be marked as such.
Do you think 5% is too steep?
I think for the average bag maker that they're probably not selling ACL rec stamp bags. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I think that there are some larger bag companies that might sell a lot of like those standard stick and slick, whether it's on Amazon or through various other venues. 5% is it's still 5%. I mean,
So average price of like a suede duck cloth bag, like a set of 4. Right
probably
now it's like
be
$35.
$30. Yeah, I was gonna say okay.
That's $1.75 a set of bags.
Yeah,
I mean,
for the ACL
I just think
to not
for me,
do
just
anything.
how many makers you have making ACL bags, I just think like obviously based on the volume that you're producing, it can add up to a shit ton of money that you own back.
It can. Like I said, you can make an argument either side.
Yeah.
I get both sides.
I
of the argument.
agree. I agree with the ACL, but like when you look at the money side, like maybe 5% is the issue. Maybe if you just make it 2%, people would just not give a shit then.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see that 5% thrown in there, you're like, God damn it! Like that comes up to like over $1.
And they're making these. And I think part of the issue is that they're making these changes, and some of the bag makers feel like they're not aware in time to make necessary changes. There's going to be constant changing.
Yeah.
If the
It's a
ACL
growing
has shown
sport.
anything, is that they're willing to take some sort of feedback and then
Yeah.
change it, sometimes to benefit for themselves. Now, again, you don't have to pay anything up front to get this rec stamp.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, if you don't sell any bags, you don't owe the ACL any money on those types of bags. But if you do, they want 5% of it.
Yeah, and honestly, sports change every year. Look at the NFL. I mean, look at how different the NFL is now.
Yeah,
I mean, you're just going to see constant changes, and for bag manufacturers, like, we feel you. But at the same time, like, you want to have your bags on the pro market. Sometimes you got to play by the rules.
absolutely. So that's kind of like the new little subtle change.
Yeah.
I think it was something.
Causing
I
all
want
the
to say it
hubbub.
was something. I want to say it might have been end of June that they posted this change to the Bag Manufacturer's Guide. I think it was like June 28th, if I remember correctly, somewhere right around there. And I think that some bag makers might have just overlooked it, or they didn't just look at it in great detail. But I know several of them, many of them, got emails basically saying that they were in violation of it.
So in violation, and you have to pay X amount? Like by a certain time, or like...
No, they just basically had to stop what they were doing, and then they had to start stamping those bags for rec if they were going to continue to sell them.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, so let's go over these ACL rankings. So
Yeah,
we
let's
had
do
alluded
it.
to before that Trey Ryder, Mike Morton, and Anthony Ayon, again, 3 well-known names in the ACL, they came out with their own separate top 10 list. So we're going to go through each one, and then we're going to kind of discuss whether we agree with where they have guys, if they have certain individuals on or off their list that we agree or disagree with. The first one right off the bat, let's start off with Mike Morton.
Okay.
I thought he had the most unique. He had the most, I think, the most different one of the other two. Trey and Anthony's there was a lot of similarities on those.
I mean, there's really
the first
just
thing that
3
pops
names
off.
in there.
The first thing that pops off when I was reading Mike Morton's was that he had Jordan Power ranked at number 4.
Yeah.
We saw Jordan this past weekend at CDOs. We know he's a crazy talented kid. I think him and Jay Rubin are going to have a lot of success this year in doubles. Is he a top 10 pro in singles yet? I don't know. He could be. He very, very well could be. But he's still kind of new to the game.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, last year was one thing. I think he ended up finishing 32nd or something right around there in singles. Yeah. To make that big of a jump, but you're also adding in a huge influx of even more talent, that's tough sledding. I mean, that right there, if he were to finish top 4, you might as well just hand him most improved player. Like,
yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? Again, I don't think I think 4 was high, in my opinion. Does he belong on the list? I think you can make an argument for it. At 4, I don't see him being that high. Not
Yeah,
yet.
I agree. I mean, again, I think it just comes down to the longevity of it. His sample size just isn't big enough.
Yeah.
And I know, like, there's a lot of rookie names in some of these lists, but, like, they still have the pedigree that stretches far past what Jordan Power's been in this game. And, again, I think he definitely has the capability, especially if he keeps improving the way he has throughout this past season. But, yeah, put him in the top 10 for singles. That one, especially at 4. I mean, that's...
Let me throw out another
That's
name,
high up
too.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
In singles, right?
Yeah.
I think he's widely regarded as a really good player, right? Maybe 2 years ago, he would have been in consideration for maybe best player in the game. In singles, seems like he might have fallen back a little bit. James Baldwin.
Yeah.
Do you think he belongs in a top 10 list right now?
I think we're going to see a different James Baldwin this year. I think he's... Because he kind of... I mean, for some reason, it was always like Kamba Baldwin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was always like Kamba was first and Baldwin always seemed second for no reason. And I think with him maybe thinking I don't want to say he doesn't think he's going to have the success he did last year playing with Cheyenne, because they definitely can even exceed it, but maybe he's thinking, I'm going to show out in singles to show that, like, it wasn't just me and Jordan doing it together. Like, I can do this myself, too. And, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets back up to being in the top 10, but it would surprise me if he fell outside of the top 25, more so than him being in the top 10.
Yeah. He's the only one of the three who had Cheyenne Runner. She's the only female that made the list in the top 10. Cheyenne Runner. I think she is the best female player. Do I think she's a top 10 player in the world right now? No, I don't. I think she is a phenomenal player. I just think that there's 10 other individuals right now that I'm just looking at the two other lists. I agree, like, that those 10 players are better than her right now. If she ended up finishing top 10, would I be shocked? I'm not going to be shocked. But again, if I'm making a preseason power ranking poll, I'm not putting her top 10. I'm just not.
All right, let's put every rookie on pause this year and just start out next season with all the same pros in it as this season.
Yeah.
Is Cheyenne a top 10 singles player in your mind then?
No. So
those 10 that you have ahead of her are repeats from this past season then?
No, not quite.
Okay.
It's somewhere similar, but not quite.
Okay.
I do have a few rookies.
I just didn't know if some of those bigger rookies were the ones pushing her out, or if you just think she's just not quite.
No, I think she's close. I think
yet.
What did she finish it last year? 19th or 13th?
Yeah.
It's something like that. But I don't think she's far away. Again, I think she's a top 15 player. To me, there's a big difference though when you get to this level and you're adding in all this new talent.
Yeah.
It'd be versus top 15 and top 10. There is. I don't care what you say.
And she has to play an extra event that most people, or two extra events that most people don't have to play.
And she went all last year. Okay. Now, I think people tend to forget. She went to the World Championship. She had an amazing run. She made it to the finals, losing to Trey Birchfield. There was also 4 other national events that she didn't make the final.
A little recency bias in that pick, you think?
I think so. I think there is a little bit. I also think I wrote an article based on all the numbers after the 4th national going into the World Championships on who were the safe bets. There were basically 9 individuals that had finished top 5 in at least 2 national events. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones. To me, you have to give a nod to those guys.
Yeah.
They have the recent work going into the season, and those are the ones that I really considered looking at for top 10. Now, not all of them made it. I'll be first to admit. But a good majority of those, if I didn't have them in, I feel like, then what am I even posting the numbers about?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
Now, one name he has left off his list that the other 2 had on their list, pretty popular name, and I respect him for it, was leaving Matt Guy off the list. Agree or disagree?
He had the gall to do it.
If you were making your top 10 right now, is Matt Guy making your list?
No.
Okay.
But there was one name that's not on anyone's list that is on my list, and that's Jamie Graham.
Yeah. I mean,
I just think he had just a slightly down year when it came to singles last year. I fully expect him to come back, and I think he's going to finish top 5 next year.
He could. I mean, listen, very well could. Could have been a little bit of a bag adjustment, a whole bunch of different stuff, but, obviously he was playing well enough with them in doubles. Mm-hmm. It could have been draws. It could have been one bad game here or there at every tournament, but I wouldn't argue with that.
He still had the consistency, though.
Yeah, you don't go from a season that he had and then the year before dominating every singles event, having a very good doubles, and then last year being on the number 1 ranked doubles team and then just fall off a cliff. He's still right there.
Oh yeah. Now why do you agree with not having Matt Guy on?
Because Matt Guy faded towards the end of last year in singles.
Yeah.
He ended up finishing 23rd maybe, somewhere right around there. Man, this is tough, right? And I don't want to say that I don't think he's ever going to win a national. I don't know. Because again, if you're going like Matt Guy, Trey Birchfield, Ryan Windsor versus the field, you might go with those 3.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think after last year, it showed how talented this ACL group is. Mm-hmm. The first national was Tay Harris that gave him a match and upset him.
Yeah.
Came back and won. It just seems like every national there was somebody that could just start pouring bags in the hole. Now, obviously, he led every fucking category except for one.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is still amazing.
But the sad thing is, like, it wasn't translating into victories. So,
if
like,
you look at how many bags he put in the hole, right?
Yeah.
And just look at how many frames he played, because of his style of play, he's going bag for bag. We've talked about it before. I do think fatigue is a factor, and it's a long year. I think
you
that's
can't be playing 30-round matches an entire national and expect to win it.
Can Matt Guy absolutely say fuck you and be number one at the end of the year? 100%. 100%. But if I'm going on right now, right this second, based on what I've seen most recently, I don't want to spoiler alert here, but no, I don't have him in my top 10. I don't.
There's an argument to go both ways, and obviously, like, we love Matt, and I wish him nothing but success. And if it would so happen that he ends up number one overall next year, I will be elated.
So I'm looking at, because Trey Ryder and while I'm looking at these two, go ahead and read off Mike Morton's list, just the top 10, 1 through 10.
So this is Mr. Morton's top 10. So number 1, Trey Birchfield. 2, Ryan Windsor. 3, Damon Dennis. 4, Jordan Power. 5, Adam Hissner. 6, Cody Henderson. 7, James Baldwin. 8, Brett Guy. 9, Josh Holland. 10, Cheyenne Renner. I mean, it's a solid top 10. You can't go wrong with any of the names on there. The one thing I will say is he had Josh Holland ranked lower than anyone on the other two lists. He had him at 9, and some other Anthony has him at 3. Trey has him at 6.
So if we're going through Trey and Anthony's, if I'm looking at just the most similarity, I have the most similar picks to Anthony. I only have 2 that are different with Anthony, and I actually have 3 that are different from Trey. Trey, the most interesting one to me is he puts he has Tanner Halpert at number 2. I'm not arguing with you. I mean about that. I mean, to me, he's a top 5 player in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that it's gonna, when it's all said and done, he's gonna probably end up being right around there. To me, it's almost like he's a lock for a top 10. Just because he's been there, done that, and he's just really, really consistent.
Yeah.
The one that was the most surprising, his next rookie, again in quotes if you want to put it, is Alex Rawls. Mm-hmm. Alex Rawls, he came off the World Championship, winning the advanced singles. He's partnering up with Trey Birchfield this year. We know he's crazy talented. Do I think that an ACL rookie that's not named Guy or Davis is going to step in this very first year and finish top 5?
And with his
listen, I appreciate it. I mean, I appreciate because it's a bold prediction. I get it. I don't see it this year. I think that it's going to take him maybe 1 or 2 nationals. I think in doubles he can have success right away because he's got a robot on the other side of the board. But in singles, he might struggle just a little bit in the beginning.
There's a lot of pressure on him in doubles.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to focus hard on being successful in doubles this first season. And honestly, he would be smart to do so.
Yep. Let's see. Now, the one Anthony has on his list, he has him ranked at 6 that I do not have on my list, and it probably won't be popular just because of where he finished last year. I don't have Jay Rubin in my top 10. He finished 6th in singles last year. Yeah. I get it. Right? I mean, he's a pretty steady player. You can't go by the nickname Air Rubin, okay, and not finish. You can't. I mean, you just can't. Now, I'll give him credit. Michael Jordan didn't win everything right off the bat.
Yeah.
Maybe this is his year. And it could be. But every year I keep hearing that, like, I want to see it. I want to see you do it. Like, now, listen, is he going to finish top 10? Probably. I mean, it seems like he's getting better every year. But I want to see him go make a splash on the big national stage. Like, go up there and win a fucking event.
Yeah. I mean, I think next year they need to rename the Clash after Jake's. It's just kind of his, like, donation money, apparently. I mean, come on, people at 319, take down Rubin. What are you doing?
Seriously, Nancy Kerrigan or something.
We're just kidding, Jay. Obviously, we still love you. I don't disagree with him being in a top 10 list just because of the finishing he had last year.
I get it.
And he could very well duplicate it. He was very consistent this year, which I think definitely played in to his ranking. But I'm with you. I would love to see Rubes take home a championship, and bring all that hard work to fruition. Because I mean, he's talented. He's not in my top 10 either. Is what I'm trying to say.
Now, I did find it interesting that Trey Birchfield was number 1 in all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was Ryan Windsor and Anthony Ayon, and then Mike Morton's. Obviously, Trey had Tanner Halpert, but Ryan Windsor was 3rd. So Ryan Windsor was either 2 or 3 in all of them. The one name that was common among all 3, but they all had him ranked differently, was Josh Holland.
Yeah, I had
Josh Holland
mentioned that actually.
Again, is like a splash player.
Yeah,
right.
Is
he the most? He might be the most. I don't want to call it say popular.
He's not the sexy pick, but
he's the player I think a lot of people are excited to see how good he's going to be in this league. And now that he's going to be in the ACL Pro Division and he's going to be playing seemingly a lot more in these big tournaments, I'm interested to see where he's at. I had a hard time kind of figuring out where I want to put him. I actually agreed with Trey. I think I had Josh Holland ranked as 6th. Again, not saying that he couldn't be number 1 or number 2. We know his potential, but I just want to see again on this stage, can he show up and show out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen what Josh Holland can do. The kid's crazy talented. I have an issue putting him in anything but over top 5 after watching the match where he lost to Alex Rawls.
Yeah, I get that.
And it was almost just because he was getting frustrated when he just couldn't seem to put a bag in. Like, Rawls just kind of put him on the ropes there. And when you have those kind of rounds at the highest level, yeah, I mean, you're gonna get chewed up and spit out. And all it takes is 2 of those really quick and donezo. So
I will say some of the best, and I didn't even bring this up, some of the best content I saw online was Noah Wooten and Josh Holland going back and forth. If you want to talk about the most passive-aggressive male fighting you'll ever see in your life, and when they're talking about fighting, it's more like duking out of the boards. It was
awesome.
Worth it. It was pretty amazing.
I loved it.
Pretty amazing. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump over to the bag review. And the bag review is brought to you by Bagsboard, the maker of the original Cornhole bag backpack. They now have a custom feature that you can have over 10,000 combinations. If you need sweet patches to go on your bag, visit bagsboard.com. Bagsboard.com. Grab yours today.
You gotta stop acting like that's a new thing. You're like, and now you can have a bag. It's like, now we all know that you can have a bag with 10,000 features. What is this one?
Do we have one more of the same one?
I think there's...
Maybe not.
I have this one.
That's all right. Let's do this one. Okay. All right, so let's start off. Emerald's right. Oh, nice.
Right when you cracked it.
Here, just take this.
Just set it there.
Okay. So anyway, sorry about that. Let's start with the emeralds. This is right in front of you.
Alrighty.
So these are swag bags.
Swag bags.
Are all pro stamped. This is a new bag company coming out, and we're actually going to be joined by the swag bag crew coming up. It's going to be Scott Schultz. It's going to be Mike Harvey and John Kitchin. We're going to be joined right after this bag review. But so the first bag we're doing, Emerald carpet bag.
Yes.
Roll. This is your world.
Yeah. So carpet bag. It's a familiar carpet. It's not quite BG. We had done the review on Warrior from
the
Epic Bags. Yeah. That's this carpet. I mean, again, it plays exactly like BG carpet. If it is BG carpet, they just don't offer it in this color.
Yeah, I don't think it is, though. I think you're right.
But it plays exactly the same. So, obviously, this side, it starts off like a 4. It's going to move down to about a 3 when it's all broken in, which, I mean, he sent us these things. There's no way these weren't treated. I'm sorry. I mean,
these are...
No, they smell Downy Fresh. For sure. But these
great.
He sent them perfectly broken in and ready to rip. I mean, I was excited to throw these. So, and then the fast side is well known. I mean, slide right material. So
it's like
great,
a 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great pairing. It's a tried and true. We've seen it across the board for a lot of these bag companies now.
So if you're like a Viking fan, something
exactly.
like that. Now the nice thing is,
let's get into why this is a different feeling bag than BG. That fill, it's a good feeling fill. It's not too small. It's not too big. It's right in that middle. It's uniform. So it's going to allow you to do those cut shots, those roll shots, whatever you want with it. But the fill is small enough still where the bag doesn't kick as much as you would. Like if you throw a wonky bag out there, it's not going to like jet straight left or right and kick off the board.
I don't think they're perfectly round.
They kind of feel a little ovular in there.
A little bit, yeah. But again, smaller in shape.
Yeah. But it's not shredded. I know it's not shredded.
No, it's not shredded. I'm telling you what though, for a carpet bag, it was very hole forgiving.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Now
again,
his template is nice.
Yep.
It's a little bit bigger of a closing seam than some of the bags we've seen.
But it's clean looking.
But it is clean, and a little bit of a corner to it, still a rounded edge though.
Yep.
So I mean it is a little bit bigger too.
It's a big.
So
bag.
it's a big carpet bag. So, but like we said, with this one with the fill in it and stuff, it is still melty. So it's a bigger bag that's still going to melt in the hole for you. I mean, all in all, I was a big fan.
All right, so design score.
I mean, all of these are going to be through the roof because they look really cool. You and I are both graffiti fans.
It's kind of like
it's graffiti comic book. Yeah. So like that's perfectly in my world right there. And when you slap the BigAsp Wahoo on it, it makes every bag look that much sexier. So for this one, just because I'm looking at this other two, I'm just going to go an 85 on this one.
Okay, for design?
Yeah, for design.
I'm going to go a little bit lower on design because, again, you could honestly, mostly because you can't print on carpet. That's it. So I'm going to go a 70.
Fair enough. Performance score for me, I'm going 85 as well. I like this bag. I like the feel of it, how melty it is. I like carpet. So I'm going to go 85 on this one.
I'm going to go a little bit lower just because I like the other two bags. So I think that's going to affect this score a little bit. I'm going to go 68. Again, I'm not a carpet bag guy. I do think it plays well. I think that what they're going for, that bigger bag that flattens out and it plays really big, that's just not really that's just not my best game style. Mm-hmm. So but this is why I keep him on the show is we need somebody that can throw a carpet bag.
It's not my dashing good looks.
You said it, not me. Okay, we're going to go with my favorite of the bunch. This is the Wicked, okay? I really like this bag a lot.
It's wicked awesome.
So basically you have we'll call it a Surefire-like material. I don't think it's exactly... I mean, it's so hard to say because the pattern is so busy.
Yeah, it's hard to see the.
It's got the similar feel. It's got the similar speed. So basically,
and the ability to print on it kind of tells me that it probably is Surefire. But
it might. So here's my thing: is in drier conditions, right? Drier, indoor, on faster boards, it's gonna play pretty quick. Okay, these do play pretty quick. But we know that any sort of humidity, the bag slows down and kind of gets right in that sweet spot. It is, again, it's a bigger bag in overall, slightly rounded corners, but it still has a squared shape, which allows you to kind of grab easily. I like the feel again. It still has a full feel in my hand. Okay. Like it's not overly floppy.
Yeah.
Like I love the TC board, the Revolution. Mm-hmm. That it can get a little bit loose, right? Yeah. But this, even if I try to grab everything in my hand, like there's still some fill on the outside. Around it, so I don't want to call it like a really full bag, but it's definitely like on the medium side.
She's sticking all the right places.
Yeah, towards the more fuller side than a loose bag, I would say. Mm-hmm. But again, speed ratings, slow side. I mean, it can go anywhere from from a 6 to a 3, depending on board conditions. Yeah. The slick side, it's again, it's that turbo or it's the slide right type material. It's right up the alley with everybody. So you got like a 7 again. It's just going to depend on board conditions with this one.
Yeah.
But it's very hole forgiving. If you like that medium of the road type slow style, this is going to be right up your alley. I like this bag a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of droop to it already.
Actually, the next two I liked a lot. So
yeah.
So design score, I like this design a whole lot. I like the color scheme on it. It's the yellow and black, but then it's got the bright swag bags right across it. I like that these are unique. I like the fact that if I saw this bag, I know instantly that it's swag bags. I know that it's called Wicked. If I'm taking our logo out of it, just going off the basic look of the bag, I do really like it, man. I like the fact that you can print on both sides of it. I'm going to go with an 83.
All right, well, I mean, I started off with an 85. That's just because they keep getting better and better. I'm going 90 on this one. I'm a fan. Now, quick question for you before we go to performance. These are all ACL stamped, correct?
Correct.
We don't have the stamp on these, but I believe all of these swag bags. Is it there?
Stamped. Yep. It's ACL
Pro.
Pro.
I didn't even see that. He has it colored.
Yep, they're all ACL
Pro. All right, that's
stamped.
dope. All right.
Yep.
let's go 91 because of that. All right, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they are all.
It's
ACL
the first
Pro
time
stuff.
I've seen like the ACL Pro. It's like you can't really see it on there, but it's actually red and blue at the top corner there.
Yep.
This one's black and white, so I spotted it.
Yep.
What's your performance?
I'm gonna go with an 80. I liked it.
I'm gonna stay pretty high up there. I'm gonna go 83. Yeah, I mean I like both those. It's gonna drop a little bit on the next one.
This next bag I feel like is gonna be pretty popular.
Yes.
This is basically their version, I would say, of like an all slide. Now it's not exactly the same because the slick side is slightly different. So typically like an all slide, right? You have the slide right up for the slow side, so like a 7, and then on the fast side you have game changer, right? This is on the slick side. This is Viper fast side. I am a huge fan of that for the slick side material.
Yes.
I know that it does really well in humidity. I know how fast it is. It plays more of like a 9, like an 8.5, 9. So it's controllable. It is fast, but it's controllable. The slow side is slide right. It's going to play that 7. This is basically, to me, kind of like an upgraded all slide. Honestly, I like if you gave me a choice right now, throw an all slide or throw the Ruby from Swag Bags, I'm picking the Ruby.
Well, I mean, the Ruby's got just that little bit more hole friendliness because of that Viper side on. I mean, this thing.
Viper tends to be a little stiff in the beginning, but once it breaks down,
yeah,
we're talking.
It's sexy.
Done.
Now, what we didn't mention when we were talking about the Wicked, it almost feels like all of these have the same template.
Yeah.
But I think the carpet bag might be the thinnest of all of them.
I think you're right.
Because this one's definitely a little chunky too. Yeah.
Again, they're not thick bags.
No.
But I would say again, if you're going loose and then like medium and then full, it's medium but more towards the full side than it is loose.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's definitely if you like a little bit of meat in your hand when you're throwing a bag, the swag bags across the board is going to be something you're going to definitely want to try out.
Yeah, but
again, universal fill. These bags slide. Again, anything close to the hole, these are finding it.
Yeah. And the girth of these bags make it a great push bag.
It really is. These don't feel like exactly because it's something that we don't talk about enough. Sometimes you throw. I had this problem. We threw the Big Daddy Carnage bags.
Yeah.
And we love that freaking bag.
Yeah.
But when the boards got super slow, that bag is almost so forgiving that it bunches up, and I had a hard time driving through the bag. This you don't have that. It's got a little bit of ass behind it, so it really drives it through.
Yeah, it'll catch it for sure.
So I like this bag. Actually, I forgot. This was actually my favorite of the 3.
Yes, I mean I assumed as much.
So design wise, we got the clean black and white, and Swag Bags is sitting right on an American flag that's kind of ripping open the bag. It's fucking sweet.
It is beautiful.
Love this fucking design. This is gonna be my best design. I'm gonna go 88 on this one. I think this one to me just kind of pops the most.
I agree with you 100%. That's why I was going 95.
Wow.
95 on a black and white bag.
Performance
for me, I'm going 78.
Okay.
I still liked it. It's very, very forgiving. It's not my cup of tea. Even though I'm starting to throw faster bags much better. When I'm still at home practicing, I like to make a bag dance and stuff. So
yeah,
it's a little more entertaining.
Yeah, I'm gonna go at 83. Again, I really like this. It was right up there with some of the better bags we've been throwing. So if you're looking for something new to try out, make sure you stop over at Facebook and check out Swag Bags. Newer bag company. They're making some noise. We're gonna talk to the founder of them and some of their new sponsored players coming up next.
They're kings of swag, so it makes sense.
Do you hear
I don't because it's not even
every time.
It's not even up, dude.
I should just. Do you want me to start doing the rap horn again?
Yeah, you should.
I can do it then. All right, so we're gonna try this again. Wait, do you hear that off in the distance? Wait, what's that?
No.
Cue the rap horn. Thanks.
You want one more?
That's all right.
Let's go. Here we go.
All right, so reach us at Instagram and Twitter at BigAsp Cornhole.
And Facebook at BigAsp Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors. Visit airwolfathletics.com for all your cornhole swag. Code BigAsp gets you 10% off. And iHeartCornhole.com for the best boards in the business. Code BigAsp10 will get you 10% off.
Bagsport.com for the best cornhole bag, backpack, and patches in the game. And BlackjackCornhole.com for the sexiest bags around. Code BigAsp can save you 10%. October 16th.
Yes.
Mark your calendars. The first annual PJ McIntyre's Cornhole. And now listen, it's our first event we're ever hosting.
Yeah.
Be patient. All right, we're trying to figure this shit out. So
I mean, honestly, we're coming to the realization that
I'm a control freak. If you guys have not learned anything over like 90 episodes or whatever the hell we have, like I'm a little bit of a control freak. Dane's actually handling most of the stuff, so I'm eternally grateful for that.
The beauty of it is that the guys that run Cleveland Cornhole are going to be there, and we're going to be using all their equipment. So if we have a problem, pause their game, guys, come over. All right, fix this for me. Or, Ben Boodoo's a close friend, so we're going to run it off Scoreholio. I'll just make a quick phone call, be like, hey, fix my shit.
Yep. Be sure to check out harddragpush.com for all your Cornhole content. On Thursday, we're going to be dropping all of our top 10 rankings for singles and doubles, and we'll continue to bust out good content.
Hell yeah.
And thank you for everyone that has submitted work to us for writing. If you've reached out to me, I haven't gotten back to you yet. It's been a crazy week. I'm trying to catch up on all these messages. I basically put my phone on Do Not Disturb for like all of last week. I just didn't want to deal with anything. I wanted to focus on family.
I actually deleted my Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
During all of it, because I was just getting blown up. And I'm like, look, I don't want to fucking
hear it. I promise I'll get back to you. I'm going through some of the articles they've written. I'll give you feedback as soon as I can. But we greatly appreciate it.
Indeed we do.
All right, well, stay tuned. We're going to be joined by Scott Schultz, Mike Harvey, and John Kitchin on our next interview.
Oh, yeah.
All right, as always, we hope you throw it straight, and it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornholing.
Later. Welcome back to the BigAsp Cornhole podcast, where we are now joined by Scott Schultz, ACL Pro, King's Throw-In owner, new swag bag dude. Like, what's going on, man?
Not much. Just grinding away, man. How you
Got your
guys
fingers
doing?
in all kinds of stuff here. It's unreal.
Oh man,
There's not many pros out there that have like 2 companies. That
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to be a pretty busy dude these days.
man, I can't even find time to. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Just
you
just
can eat
jump
dinner
back.
on here. That's fine. We drink beer the whole time. We just drink our dinner.
Let me ask you. Obviously, you're a cornhole like superstar by night. Is this your full time job now? Like these companies, or what do you do for day job? Is this your full time job now?
Yes, sir.
That's
This
awesome.
is all I do. I run cornhole companies.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
Like that's like life goals for a lot of players.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely. I feel very blessed, living the dream at the moment. I mean, it's tough to start a new company, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun too.
Well,
So,
and you also live in paradise. I mean, you're in South Florida, as you told us. So I mean, you already got like the beautiful weather. You guys can play like year round out there, pretty much, right?
year round, we do. It's really crazy. It's so much fun. I
We
mean,
do too.
we
But,
pretty.
we play in the. We'll go indoors where we play at a gym that's like 40 degrees no matter what. So that's always fun.
So take us through your journey. Like, when did you first start playing? How did you get involved? How did you first hear about cornhole? All that stuff.
All right. Well, I first started playing. It was probably in college. My roommate came up to me and said, "Let's go to the bar."
So that had to be like what 2012 for you.
Oh, that was like 2000, right after college. It was like 2009, 2010. Around that
Yeah, I
range.
figured he was like right around our age and
Yeah, we're
stuff.
good. All
So
right.
Yeah, man. So we went to the bar, $6 pitchers. I lost my ass every time we played. I mean, finally one day, these guys that threw us out to run a blind draw there came up to me and they're like, "All right, let me help you a little bit." Taught me how to throw. His name's John Arts. He actually started running Orlando Cornhole back then. I went to UCF, so
Okay.
was in Orlando for a bunch of years. Finally started throwing to where I was like, oh, maybe I could play some tournaments. Showed up to some blind draws, and the rest is history.
So I mean, grand scheme of things, you're kind of now like looking back on it, you're kind of like a cornhole OG. You know what I mean? Like in the competitive circuit, because I mean, so many of these younger players that you find out like they just started throwing a bag like 2 years ago, but here you are, been throwing since like 2009, 2010. I mean, you got some years on it now.
Oh man, don't make me feel old. Come on.
Now,
we're already there. It's okay.
Did you ever think like back then that you would ever be full-time cornhole business guy? I mean, it's got to be crazy how fast this game's growing, right?
I never would have imagined this. In fact, a few years ago, probably about 3-4 years ago. I'm pretty close with some of the bag manufacturers. Tampa Bay Cornhole, Ryan Schwartzkopf.
Yep.
I was sitting there watching him make bags, and we're talking while he's doing it. I'm like, there's no way this is worth it. And here I am. Now I'm starting my own bag company. It's wild, I have to say.
So
Absolutely wild.
we'll get to swag bags in a second, but I think you guys introduced King's Throwing first. That was your first company. You started that with Derek King. How did you guys first decide, like, hey, this is the route we want to go? Why make that leap into, I guess, if we want to call it like a merchandise white labeling type company?
Right. Well, more collabs. I mean,
Yeah.
that was basically the idea. I mean, it was kind of get out there in apparel, make cool shirts, make cool. Our first ideas were characters.
Okay.
That's where the DK character came from,
Yeah,
and it was
that.
DK. It was simple.
Yeah.
And I was working with somebody, and man, it really came together quickly, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, people are starting to really like the DK characters. They're liking the Throwbot. I mean, King's Throne, just the logo and the name. People are coming up to me like, "Whoa, how'd you even think of that?" I mean, to be honest, I wanted to go with King Cornhole because of Derek.
Okay.
And then King Cornhole was taken, so we thought about it for about a week. Came up with King's Throne. Rest is history.
It's smart. I love the logo.
The logo and just the name.
Yeah,
itself,
the name is awesome.
It's catchy. You know what I mean? It's something that people want to throw. I think
it can expand beyond cornhole.
Well, it's little things too that, like, the font you guys picked is smart. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that people are going to want to wear. And I mean, you guys are rapidly becoming one of the more popular kind of like apparel companies out there for sure. Where you see your bags are out everywhere. You see people wearing your hats and shirts and all that stuff all over the place. So, I mean, you guys it seemed like an overnight success. I mean, were you surprised with how fast it took off?
Definitely. I did not expect us to get so many people involved so quickly. I mean, I feel very blessed with how quickly we've made this grow, and I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes us.
All right, so let's go to the point where you're watching a guy from Tampa Bay Cornhole make bags.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
You should have grabbed a beer. It helps clear the throat, relaxes it a little bit more.
So we're at the point here where you are.
Well, we got John Kitchen coming in now.
Well, go ahead, let him in. Yeah, well, this will be a perfect kind of segue. So, you're at the point where John Kitchen is going to be joining us, ACL Pro.
We're at the point of John Kitchen, my man.
Here comes Sean. You can.
There's something burning in the kitchen.
Burning.
What's up, dude?
There's the man.
What's up?
My man.
I'm going to mute you for 2 seconds. We're going to jump right to you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to you in a second, Johnny.
All right.
All right, so you're at this point, Scott. You were watching a guy make cornhole bags, right? And you're like, "There's no way I'm ever going to do it." Why did you make this jump to go to swag bags?
Well, that was years ago. So back then, I mean, he was doing these customs 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
That was back in the beginning when like Reynolds started and all cornhole. Like before that, it was you showed up to a tournament and it was red bags or blue bags, and that's all we threw.
Yeah.
So I mean, the progression of what's going on in the cornhole community is astonishing. So I mean, I feel like bags are important. It's an important part of the game, and you, to be honest, there needs to be a different lineups of bags. People need to be versatile. People need to understand. You need to be able to switch bags. You can't just have one set of bags and show up to every event and think that you're going to win every event, because boards change.
I think it's apparent, especially when we went through the bag review, is that you set up a bag lineup, a series of bags with these three that you're offering something for everybody. I mean, you have something from a carpet to kind of like that medium slide bag to a full, like your version of kind of like an all slide type bag. I think it's smart. Do you tend to lean towards one particular series of bags yourself?
So recently, I've been throwing the Wickeds to start, and then I throw the Rubies to finish, because in Florida, it's as you know, it might be a little bit humid here.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, at the end of the night, it gets really sticky. And yeah, I mean, I can never throw the wicket the entire night. So, and even in the blind draws, my partners seem to be adapting pretty well. I mean, maybe occasionally somebody's just not comfortable switching.
Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and unmute here. We'll ask John to unmute his phone here. John Kitchen, man. If you guys are hearing that background noise, John's actually joining us from his league.
Listen, I'm literally in game right now. I'm trying to watch.
I mean, that is
It's called that's called baller.
Right?
Yeah.
So first of all, thanks for joining us. It's a long time coming. I mean, you've been back and forth a few times while you've been on the show. You're kind of, you're big time in me, so I'd have Scott. So let me ask you right off the bat. So you win man of the year, right? You win this contest. You kind of come from. You're kind of like the dark horse, right? You upset. You get the big win. Do you still feel like you're kind of under the radar kind of player, like you're underappreciated a little bit?
I don't know if I'm underappreciated. I mean, I'm definitely still under the radar. Some people know what my name is, but I haven't really done anything since then. You know, I've come close. I mean, I'm competitive all the time, but I haven't won anything big. And I think it's like a "what have you done for me lately" type of deal in the cornhole world.
It is, but if you look across the board, though, there's really only been like a handful of people that won anything, anyways. In the NFL. I mean, I think that you've shown that, like, you've been, a competitive player year after year going on, and I mean, I think it's an impressive run you've been having so far.
I'm just trying to stay with it. Cornhole in my area is still kind of small, so trying to build it up, trying to find that regular, like, the regular competitiveness regularly around here, in the area. I don't get it like a lot of these guys down in Virginia and Texas and even down Scott's area in Florida and stuff like that. I mean, they're playing. There's 20 John Kitchens around there, like on a regular basis. So they're getting that practice in where I'm still just trying to build the area,
I love how humble you are, because honestly, like, there's not 20 John Kitchens anywhere, let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's not that many good-looking guys around, let's be serious. I mean, come on. All right. So
we're the two best-looking guys in Cleveland.
So, all right. So you've been playing professionally with Jamie. You decided to switch up.
Yeah.
You and Scott are playing this year. Well, how did this partnership go? How did you guys
So Jamie hung it up this year. He hung it up this year. He's he's a single dad, got 2 daughters in high school age, so it's just time for him to hang it up. Quite honestly, I was close. Some people knew that, some people didn't. Had a lot of great conversations with people around like the cornhole community, and really made me start wondering if this is the time to get out. I mean, right now things for cornhole right now are booming. So just talking it over with my wife, things like that, was like, all right, well, we're gonna do it. So now that we know we're gonna do it, who are we gonna partner with? So ran into Scott, talked to Scott a little bit. I mean, me and Scott, a lot of people don't know, when I first played ACL and I played at Cobb, Scott and me ended up linking up. And that was my real kickoff to ACL and the professional thing. And, I mean, Scott, we made a run. We made a really good run. We made it down to the winner's bracket final, I think, and then lost 2 in a row to, God, remember who it was? I think it was Terry Mathis and Greg Geary.
Okay.
And then who was the other ones? The other ones were, I think it was Brandon Jones, wasn't it? So when Scott brought it up to me, it just seemed like a natural fit. I like what he's doing. Scott's a hustler. He's trying to get his name in the cornhole community on the business side of things, which I think is great. So it just seemed like a natural fit for me.
So so what do you think? You've thrown some of the swag. So far, what series do you like swag most?
Right now, I'm in love with these wicked.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the wicked. This is the set that I'm throwing right now. But
that's a sick looking set. Is that a little custom set?
I don't know, man. Scott sent me a bunch of stuff,
right?
But it was all sick. He didn't even mention it. But
Ruby's
got, the rubies inspire, man. They're over there. I wish I had them over here with me, but and he's got a little 2019 Man of the Year on there, which me and my wife, I didn't even catch it at first. My wife's like, "Oh, that's cool." So right now I'm throwing the Wickeds and the Rubies are the two contenders, but I've been throwing nothing but the Wickeds really.
Okay. Now, what are you guys thinking going in? Like, what are the expectations for you guys going in? Now, obviously, last year there was all this hype with a really talented rookie coming in, right? This year, I mean, this is the best it's ever been. What are realistic expectations for you guys as a doubles team going into this?
I don't know. Scott thinks about it. I mean, honestly, for me, there is no expectation. You know, we're gonna come in, and I think that we're not that big name team, and we're not getting all that kind of thing going on. But I think people should take us serious for sure. Me and Scott threw against each other 3 times last year. Usually when we were playing again, he would throw against me, I throw against him. We were throwing some solid 10 plus games. So I think it's great that there's no like big expectation nationally. I think personally, I think people should be careful.
All right.
Exactly. We're not going to be in anybody's 10, but you should watch out.
Yeah.
And I think that can be said for a lot of these teams coming up. Like I said, you guys have played before in the past, so it's definitely something that a lot of these teams actually don't have coming into this season. Like teams have not played together until probably the first national is going to be the first time that they get a chance to join the boards together. So you guys have that little rapport that you guys had earlier in your careers to kind of bring you guys, do that together.
John,
it's pretty good or bad. I mean, I think we both have the aggressive mentality, which is probably going to be either a really good thing or a really bad thing. But it's going to be fun.
It's definitely going to be fun.
At the end of the day, it makes for great TV. You guys are going to make it. See you on a broadcast.
So, John, let me ask you. So, you and a guy you might be familiar with, Thomas, who wrote in, he wants to know, why does Kitchen love virtual so much? There's some.
Listen. If you look really hard out there on the internet, there's probably some really good footage of me. Some entertaining footage of me when we're doing these virtual events, things during the whole COVID era, and I think that's what he's talking about. I don't like playing really against myself. I can't practice like that. So it's probably just he's seen a lot of the footage. So there's a lot of entertaining stuff out there.
I don't like playing against yourself, but what about playing with yourself?
Well,
All right, and then the last one, John. So Jimmy wants to know, why does everyone call you John Clutchy?
Call of Duty, man. You don't want to Call of Duty. I might be a guy have 1 kill and 16 deaths, but you need me to finish it off. I go in there and I get the last kill, clean things up for everybody, and then that's why I call it Clutchy.
I love it.
That's great.
Oh my God.
It's freaking great. All right, last question.
By the way, I'm losing my game right now.
Last question.
Not impressive.
Pick up, right? Let's say ACL starts up for the championship. You guys make ESPN broadcast. You have a walk-up song. What's your walk-up song?
Walk-up song?
Oh, you go ahead.
Damn. I need some pressure there. God. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably going with some old school rock or some like AC/DC, like some typical stuff.
Okay.
Not anything interesting for me. Maybe Thunder. That's what they play when the birds come out in the field. So I'm probably gonna play Thunder.
There you go. Thunder. You can always start off with a fantastic drinking game. That's the way to do it.
All right, John. Well, hey, we'll let you run. We know that you. Thanks for joining us. We know you're in your league and we're in your match here, man. So.
Hey, I got you. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'll see you guys around.
All right, buddy.
But don't get me. You got my name. You got my name right.
Oh, I got you.
We got you.
Time. It was one time. I got you.
I mean, it's Kitchen, just like where I, cook all my food, right?
But with an I in.
Yeah.
I got it. All right, man.
All right, good luck.
Fellas,
Win that match.
Thanks, dude.
Yep.
Now
we got Mike coming in now too. So.
Oh God, it's a party.
It's professional timing right now. So
He's
Scott,
a
while we're with
party.
Mike, you gotta tell us what's your walk-up song.
Oh my God. I mean, I got to go with my partner, right? Thunder.
And that is a good one,
That is a good
actually.
one. I like that one.
I'm doing it. I
Mike
do
Harvey,
it.
what's going on,
What's
man?
up, Mike?
Mike's walk.
Hey,
Long time coming, man. What's going on?
what's
How you
up,
been?
What up?
fellas?
What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. How about y'all?
Good, man. It's been a long
Can't
time
complain.
coming. I know last time we were supposed to have you on, you were a little under the weather. So thanks for. I know you're also at league night. We just got off the call with John. He was also at league. So thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Come on, man. Anything for y'all boys, man.
All right. Hey, so last year, man, rookie season, you
Yeah.
noise, man. You got on a few broadcasts and stuff like that. So just tell us, like, what the hell was that like? I mean, it had to be kind of a crazy experience.
What is it like? It's amazing, man. I mean, I feel like I'm right at home when I'm on the broadcast. It's just like my personality gets to like show how everybody gets to see it like around my way. They get to see it on a national audience, and it's just the like the response I've been getting from people around the country has just been amazing. And that's just a big shout out to guys like you, man, that support us and just keep pushing for us to get better at this sport that I love.
Do you always tend to be like this upbeat, positive, like, charismatic type dude? Is that how you always? Scott's nodding, so I'm assuming that's how you always are then.
Yeah, man. Like with me is what you see is what you get, and I ain't never gonna change. So I just keep it rolling like that, man. I try to bring some like energy and some fun to the game because that's the way I just approach life. Is just go out there, have fun, keep a smile on your face. Don't let nobody bring you down.
Honestly, this game needs some more smiles and
dude.
fun, man. I mean,
Oh,
because
yeah.
honestly, I step up to the boards and when it's serious, yeah, I might play better, but it's not fun.
So if you ain't having fun,
I'd rather
if you're not
lose and
having
have fun
bro.
than take it serious and win.
Right. Trust me, you can have fun and still win, man.
So, Mike, how did you first get involved in the game? Like, how long have you been playing and everything?
So I first got started, man. One of my good friends, he passed away. It's an older guy, Kevin King. So we walked into a bar one day, like a little local bar, about 5-6 years ago. And no, probably about 7 years now when I think about it. And these two guys were playing and they never been beat before. So I was like, man, let me try my hand. As competitive as I am, like, I want to try this game of cornhole. And bag corn bags, and I didn't know how to throw. Like I'm throwing like a ninja star, trying to get it to the hole. And I beat these guys, and they were like so pissed that I beat them. But like afterwards, like we just got to hang out. Like the camaraderie of it was like, okay, we're competitive on the boards, but off the boards, we're having a good time. And then it's like, man, this is the perfect type of game for me. And then from there on, man, like I started like locally, I used to DJ and host a lot of big time parties and tournaments and stuff. So I would always incorporate like beer pong and cornhole with it to get people to get interested in like try to build the game.
Okay.
So with that being said, man, I just played a lot of cornhole like locally. And then some of the guys were like, man, you need to really try to progress this. Like you could be something bigger than what you just are here. So I went down to the qualifier right before COVID hit. And like I said, it was like 300 and maybe 500 guys, some tried out. And I finished in the top 32. I finished like 13th, I believe. So then I got in, and ever since then, man, it's just been just a dream come true and a blessing. And I just met so many great people around the country. That's just been helping the journey, man.
I mean, it's crazy so you were part of this like inaugural, I guess we'll call it rookie class last year that
right
kind of changed the landscape of the ACL, at least the depth, right, of the talent that's going in this year.
For sure.
This year, I mean, it's going to be even crazier, right? I mean, like it's just every year from now on, there's no more gimme games kind of thing. Do you guys, and either one of you guys can answer this, does that affect your mindset at all? Like, do you think about that at all? Or is it just, does it make you want to work a little bit harder at the game or know that you have to in order to stay on top?
Right. So like my mindset is, man, like whoever's beside me, like that really doesn't matter. Only reason that matters to me is when I'm trying to play against somebody's strengths and their weaknesses. Like if somebody steps up beside me and somebody says that's so-and-so, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is going out there and being positive about myself, believing in myself, and just trying to beat that person or what they're good at, trying to stop them from doing what they're good at. Like you just said, my rookie class, crazy, bro. Matt Guy got Rookie of the Year. Like, we had Matt Guy, Eric Davis, Brad Guy, Tony Smith. Like,
You think
it's
he'll be
just the
you think
crazy
he'll be
names
the
that
oldest
came into
rookie
my
of the year of
qualifier
all
was
time?
ridiculous. What's that, man?
Is he going to be the oldest rookie of the year of all time?
I'm willing to bet
He
he's
has to be. Who else is
Yeah,
gonna come in
hands
as Rookie
down.
of the Year?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I think Alex Rawls might act like a 70-year-old, but I think he's significantly younger than Matt Guy.
Yeah.
He's my pick.
So Mike
Yeah.
Harvey, you came off a really successful season last year. You guys started off hot. You played with James Washington last year.
right.
You guys had a really good run. I think you might have surprised some people that weren't really familiar with the game. We had mentioned
Right.
early on, just as a guy to kind of watch out for, that you guys were going to make some noise. I think travel issues, all this COVID bullshit happened. Stuff happens, whatever.
Yeah.
But you were I'm assuming you had several suitors for like in terms of sponsors and bag companies and stuff. You were the first one that I saw that kind of decided to go with swag bags, and that was kind of the one that turned me on to like, okay, who the fuck are these guys? And
Right.
with them, they got to have a good product, right? So what was it about Scott and swag bags in general that you're like, I want to go this route?
Right. So, like you said, man, there was basically almost every company reached out to me, but with Schultz, it was more of a thing where it's like Schultz was my friend first. So it's like I also want to help people along the way of my journey, so I can always look back and say I've done it the right way. So with signing on with Schultz, that just made it something that means something to me, because I'm always going to support people that support me. And just shout out to everybody that reached out to me, man, with the contracts. And you even mentioned Washington. Big shout out to Washington, man. The dude's been a mentor in my corner from day one. And just like all the guys and everybody in my corner has helped like mold me and help me so much. So it feels like it's only right for me to want to give back to the people that have been in my corner too. So that's just the way I roll, man. And that's just the way I'm always going to be.
Now Schultz, being, owner of swag bags, was it just like a natural thing to be like, well, we're swag bags, we need Mike Harvey? Because honestly, like, there's nothing more synonymous with swag and cornhole than Mike Harvey. So, like, was it just a given?
Yeah,
Exactly, man. I mean, thinking of the name that took a while. But finally, when we came with it, I was like, oh my god.
Did you hear like
Mike,
one rap song where they said swag and you're like, oh, that rhymes with bag, let's make that a company?
All right, so
come
Mike,
on, hey, Schultz has to do his Jew thing. He came right after it, man. He's not playing around.
so let's. I don't want to.
He's an uncut gem. He's the uncut gems of cornhole, bro. That's just how he is.
Oh man. Shit.
That's my Adam Sandler right there, man.
So Mike, I don't want to get too heavy, but you again, like, so you had a great rookie season. I'm sure you had plenty of options for doubles partners and people reaching out.
For sure.
You decided and you announced that your doubles partner for this year is going to be Rocky. I think everyone that's listening to this podcast is somewhat aware of his situation and what's going on. Obviously, we're always thinking of him. I know all Cornhole and a bunch of bag companies are coming together to kind of raise funds for his medical expenses, which I think is awesome. How did you first come to that decision? All right. Well, I mean, obviously Alan's well known in the community as being, he's got his own swag. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a little, maybe not quite as flashy as you, but he's real well known in the community, very well respected. Yeah. So why did you decide to play with Rocky this year? Well, what is it about him and his character that kind of stood out to you?
For sure, man. And that's awesome that you bring him up, because I was going to bring him up regardless. And it's not really like when Cornhole first started out here, like I was doing my thing with the late night Cornhole scene and a different type of vibe, a different type of crowd. Rocky's doing his thing on a whole different vibe too. So we've always bumped heads, but it's always been, that's why I tell people, like, you can disagree with somebody, but still respect that person. And that's like the relationship that me and Rocky have always had. I've done my thing. He's done his thing. We haven't always seen eye to eye. So when a situation like this comes up with Rocky, it just felt like you never want somebody to leave or go out on bad terms. So it was like, it just felt like the right thing to do at the time to say, you know what, we can turn like, a negative situation that we have, but we can turn what was going on with us in something positive and come together, man. And when you see guys that really not clicking come together, maybe that will inspire others to say, like, sometimes, man, life is a little bit bigger than just a beanbag and stuff like that. So stepping up to the plate and being there from somebody means a lot to me. And this week I've had, like, not just this week, like the last couple of weeks, it's been so much like, hey, what's going to happen with your partner situation and stuff like that. My first concern is Rocky's health, and I just want him to be better, man. And I just hope he can come back and play. And I just hope the man upstairs has that in the cards for us. But if he doesn't, I just want to make Rocky proud. And I want to make the Cornhole community proud and show people that no matter what, man, you can separate your differences and come together and do the right thing.
Listen,
that means more to me than a beanbag.
There's power in positive thinking, right? So we'll put this in the universe. When he gets better and you guys win a national, they're gonna make a movie about
there
it.
You go.
Hell yeah.
Movie about that.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Right.
And that would be real special if that can happen to me. And that's the mindset I go into, man.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right, so a few listener questions. So we already asked Scott. He kind of wimped out on the questions. We'll give him a little bit.
Of course he did.
Who I think was it Wes? Let me see. Yeah, Wes Slightig wants to know if you had, let's say ESPN, right? You're on the bright stage. They start doing walkout music, right? You got to pick one song as your walkout song. What's your walkout song?
Oh. That's a good one. You know, I'm like,
you're a DJ,
so
right?
I gotta go with some Drake.
Okay, all right.
I gotta go with some Drake.
Best you ever had? Is that what you're gonna walk out to?
Hey, you know what's so funny, man? When I was playing against Adam Hisner, and I showed up a little late to the board. Do y'all remember that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that's at the National. So I'm introducing my sponsor to my dad for the first time. We're at the restaurant right across the hallway. So that's what happened. So as I'm somebody said, man, you're the first guy ever to walk into a venue like a WWE match. As I'm coming down the stands, they're filming me coming down. Like, we should have some theme music or some wrestling music, right? As I'm coming down the stairs. Like,
dude, I've been saying it forever.
So that's a good question, man. Some music for me to walk into. But
Yeah, those
I gotta
finals
stick to
should
my
be-
light skin theme and say Drake, man. I gotta have some Drake in my system.
I agree. I think the walk up should actually become a thing. I mean, it's
Hey, I'm a trendsetter, baby.
So what are your expectations going in this year, right? So let's take doubles.
That's a great question.
Let's take doubles out of it for right now, okay? Because there's so many unknown factors and everything.
Right.
As singles, what are your goals? What is like you set yourself a personal goal? Like I would top 30, top 20. Like where do you think you should be at by the end of the season?
There you go. Those are great personal goals, man. Like I wanted to be at least like in the top 30. I think I finished maybe like 31, 32 to end the year out. So my goals are to be, I've seen all the lists. We all seen the list this week, right? Of all the
you haven't seen the good one though. Mine's coming out on Thursday. That'll be the accurate one. So you're good.
Cool. So when you see a top 10 list like that, yeah, for sure. With my mindset and the way I believe, yeah, that give you a little bit of motivation right there. I'm trying to crack that top 10 for sure.
I don't mean to spoil it, but Sean didn't throw you on there either.
Hey, thank you. I need all that. That just makes my shimmy that much harder when I'm up there. I promise you that.
That's all it is. Do you have anyone you want to shout out, Mike? Well, I know you're at league and stuff, and we don't want to take your time out for us. Do you have anyone you want to shout out?
Cool, man. Yeah, I will love to do that. So first and foremost, I got to thank the man upstairs. Without him putting me in this position, I would never be here. So that's number one. My family, they always have my back through everything I've through. Just like my sister, man. Probably some videos you even hear her in the stands scream loud, like they're for me, and that support system helps me incredibly, man. Officers. He's legit.
Oh, it's breaking up.
Green Tree Realty, King's throwing swag bags.
That's the one
breaking up.
There we
go. Good?
We got you.
You broke up a little bit there.
Are
Can
we
you
good?
run down the list real quick again?
Yeah, halfway through.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll probably start like Swag Bags, King's Throwing, Green Tree Realty, Lighthouse Construction, Philbrook Plumbing. There's been so many local guys and companies that's been in my corner that have supported my journey, and I just want them to know from the bottom of my heart it doesn't go unnoticed, because without them, you don't see me on TV doing that stuff. So
That's awesome.
and also what I'm hoping to get this on the jersey
Truly
next
sponsorship.
year,
There you go.
I mean, come on, I'm
My
the
man
only
is
guy on the
Truly.
tour doing it. I mean, give me a break. Come on,
I gotta
Truly. Let's
drink
send
it
this out
Truly.
to the world. Can I get Truly? I'm the only guy. Look,
You're
All right.
preaching to the
I
wrong
am light
podcast for
skinned, so
Truly.
I understand they're gonna say certain things about light skinned guys, Drake, emotional and all this, but nah. Let me get the Truly on the jersey. I'm sticking with the theme. Let's go to work this season.
If you really want Truly to sponsor, you have to go over to the Dog Cast, because we only drink like good beer here.
I knew y'all could do me like that.
Hey, Mike,
I'm
thank
trying
you.
to find my way, boys. It's finding my way. I'm a trendsetter, I told you.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you at the
Hey,
next
nah,
one.
man. Hey, but listen,
I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on, man, and best of luck to you guys. I always support your podcast, and I'm looking forward to big things from y'all. You don't want to put me in the top 10, but I'm gonna put y'all in my top 10 for podcast.
I haven't given Sean my top 10 yet.
Yeah,
You might have just sold it, right? So I'm an easy.
All right, Schultz. All right, I'm going, boy. Schultz, I love you, man. I'll catch up with you, my
Thanks,
uncle
brother.
Jim.
Appreciate it.
All right, boy.
Good luck.
Hey, thanks, man.
So, Scott, two things I wanted to bring, just ask you real quick that were kind of popping into my head. The first one is, all right, so we just talked to, obviously, your pro partner, Mike Harvey. You're sponsoring both, throwing your bags this year. When you're going to sponsor somebody either through Swag Bags or King's Throwing, what do you look at? What are you looking for in a player? And like as an owner of a company, what do you want to get out of it?
Right, that's a good question. Well, we're trying to build a family, I would say. Basically, there's an age-old saying that some family you're born with and others you choose.
Okay.
So when we go after certain players, we're looking more for role models, I would say. As far as talent-wise, if you're a pro player, you have talent. So basically, role models are the main thing that we're looking for. That's the most important thing to us.
So more of a player's character kind of thing.
Characters, role models.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the first ones. You're actually one of the first ones to say that, you know, the whole family dynamic besides like the local family.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, those guys are like super close knit and like always traveling together and stuff. And I mean, I think he's the first one I've heard really talk about like making it more of like a family atmosphere. Because let's be honest, you're going to see each other quite a bit throughout the season. And you're
Right. I mean,
make travel plans together and everything, and like stay in rooms together. So it's better to like the people that you sponsor than, you know, maybe just sponsor them because of talent. So I mean, I get it.
Right. I mean, I want to travel together. I don't want to have a big group. I mean, I see Ultra's already signed probably 150 players. I mean, we're looking to stick under 20. I would say is our goal right now. We have 7. Okay. So we're working on coming out with more players in the next few weeks. We're hoping for. We basically we want to build a family, a real team of character, role models, top players, people that kids could look up to. I mean, like Mike. Mike is the perfect person for swag. I mean, he has swag, and he's a role model. Perfect. Like he's number one in my opinion. I wouldn't want anybody over Mike.
Yeah, so I get it. Like, okay, so I get the family atmosphere, right? But as a business owner, you still need to expect something in some sort of return, right? Do you have certain expectations for these players? Like when you're, and I don't need like super specific stuff, but like, are they required to obviously wear the gear, or are they required to make so many social media posts? Like, I always just find it interesting on what bag companies that sponsor these players, not just for us, but like for other pro players that are listening to this, to kind of know what they're getting themselves into. Because I've been working on an article for like a year now, like about sponsorships and like how if the game's going to grow, like it's the only way it's going to grow is if more money gets involved, right? And the only way it's going to get more involved is big name sponsors. Well, we're in the infancy right now, so I think a lot of it goes on the players and how they represent certain brands, but they have to represent them. It's more than just like sharing a post on Facebook and being done with it. Like, they have to
Exactly.
represent the brand. So I love the fact they brought up the character aspect of it, but as a business side of it, what do you expect out of your players to help grow the company?
Right. Well, hoping they all win tournaments, but
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, yeah, that would be number one. No,
Okay.
but realistically, I mean, we do want them to post. I mean, here and there. To be honest, if a player that's on the swag team just feels like they're actually part of the family and they feel the love from us, they should feel like they're basically an owner, and they should feel that they want to show off the brand and they want to show off what's going on instead of just hiding behind the doors and not really caring or just running out after you lose. Like, that's not really what we're looking for, and I wouldn't think that's what any companies are really looking for. I mean, we're looking for character. We're looking for people that want to show off what they have. Like, I want people that love the bags. I want people that love the brand.
Yeah.
So,
And
I mean,
I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, I think especially when you're in the infancy stages, it's really most important just to, if you're putting your gear on or in the hands of people who other individuals look up to, they're gonna then want to go wear that kind of stuff, or
I mean,
they're gonna want
think
to wear
of
that kind of bag.
Think of the company as your baby. I mean, you're not just going to hand your baby off to random people. You want people
right,
who are actually going to, like, maybe hold it the right way. Feed
right.
it if it's hungry or something.
Exactly. So I want players on my team that I would hand my baby off to. Exactly.
Right.
That you hit it perfect.
Look at that. I don't even have kids.
First time in like 87
But
episodes.
perfect. That is the actual perfect way to say it.
Yeah, I'm happy that I didn't like chime in on my pick for John Kitchen's like walk-up song, because I was definitely gonna go like, I thought like maybe he was more like a Stevie Nicks guy and he was gonna like go that route, but maybe a little too soft for him. I felt like he needed something like a little harder to walk up to.
Right. Trying to think of something like the song for me. I'm still like.
I was thinking maybe for Kitchen, maybe like Queen, good old fashioned lover boy. He could pull that one off.
So the last thing I wanted to bring up that we haven't had an opportunity to talk to anybody about, so you're going to be the first one, is this new development for the Pro Development Cup, right? The PDCs they're calling it. As a pro player, what are your thoughts about it for the overall growth of the game? Obviously, like, you're an ACL pro, so you're pro ACL and stuff. Do you think it's a good move overall for the overall growth of the game? I know that there were some players that were disappointed they weren't selected as pros, but they're given this 1 of 64 chance, right? Basically, of participating in pro national events. Do you think that this is a right step, or I guess a step in the right direction for the overall growth of the game?
I definitely think it's a step in the right direction. I mean, it can't hurt to bring on, basically, I would call it like the D League, or basically having players take up the spots of other pro players that can't make it to the events, from what I understand, which now we're going to have a full field. I've been playing, this will be my 3rd year. So as a pro, so every year we're missing at least 20, 30 players at each event. So it's a little like, this is going to be new to us, that we're not going to be having any open spots at all in the actual bracket. So I'm very curious to see how it works out. In my opinion, I really think it's a step in the right direction. I think they're doing things exactly how like I would see it. I didn't even picture this, but this is like the perfect way to do it, in my opinion.
Just a random question, because I've been thinking about this a lot too with this whole field. Do you see anyone from that random 64 making a run and getting in a broadcast at some point?
Man, have you seen those 12-year-old kids?
The Gore
That's
brothers.
I could see
scary, man.
It's nasty, dude.
Like, that's literally, I wrote on the last article I published, is that watch out for the Gore brothers, because they're mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're nasty little players, and I'm sure they're not super thrilled that they weren't selected, because you tell me that they're not one of the top 256 players in the world. Man, you show me the other 256, I'm going to show you at least half of them they're beating.
No, they're going to make a run. I think there's definitely a few other players in there that are going to make runs too. We'll see. I mean, only time will tell. So.
Now, are you in like Alex Rawls territory? Like, he's from Florida as well, right?
Funny you say that. I just played Alex Rawls in fantasy football, and I don't think he wants to respond to me right now. I beat him by like a few points. He's like, all right, I'm not talking about this.
I don't know if you saw that top 10 list that Mike Harvey was alluding to.
Yeah, I did.
So Trey Ryder had him listed as 5th. I said it was probably too high, too early. I know he's crazy talented and he's really good. Do you think he belongs in the top 10?
I think he belongs throwing swag bags. That's what I think.
Okay.
But no, I honestly, like, that could go either way.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex, I've known since he started. So
snap judgment right now. Would you put him in your top 10? Yes or no?
It'd be probably not.
Okay. I mean, listen, I know he's crazy talented. I've seen him play a bunch. I know he wins a bunch, right? I know he's talented, but it's really hard to be a rookie, and especially with how deep this field is. Now, do I think he's going to have success in doubles early on? 100%. He's playing with Trey. I mean, I think those two are going to have a very good season, but singles is a whole different ball game. It's not just the advanced division anymore.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's part of the argument that I made to Sean earlier in our episode was, yes, he's going to be successful at Trey Birchfield. I think he focuses more on doubles because he's got that pressure on him to succeed with Trey on the doubles platform more so than singles. So I think this year for a top 10 singles finish, I don't know. It's going to be hard, but he's definitely going to focus on doubles. And I think him and Trey, to me, I mean, they might be the team to beat to start out the season, even though not many people know Alex to start out. But we know what Trey can do, and those two together, man, they're going to be lethal.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing them. So I'm not really. I don't know. I mean, I think Alex is definitely a top 25 player. Top 10, if he has a good year, definitely. So
and listen, this year, I would say more so than any other year, top 25 is really impressive. Top 50.
Right.
Really impressive.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I know that there's always 256 pros like would beat the shit out of me. Like, I get that, but this year, just with how stacked the field is, I mean, you've seriously,
not 256, really, Sean. We still have Timmy Jonas's number.
That's true.
We're gonna beat his ass.
That's true. All right, Scott. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We think
for having me.
We said it on the episode. If you're looking for something new to try, and listen, people like to buy bags all the time. Highly recommend Swag Bags. Going to check him out. He has a diverse lineup of bags. Again, I think it's very sweet. Anything from carpet to the middle of the road to more of an all slide type bag. They're well made. We loved your fill. We were kind of raving about that. We like the fact that it's not overly fat. It's not super floppy. You got it kind of right that medium amount. So you're kind of fitting in the wheelhouse of a lot of different people. Because I think you can, if you like a fuller bag, you might still like these. If you like a looser bag, you're still going to find something you like out of these as well. So well done. We really like where you're going, and thank you for taking your time to come and join us.
And just real quick, you actually alluded to how you've been switching from the Wicked over to the Ruby, and that actually plays because it's the same fill, same template across the board for those two, which is, I mean, we're starting to see these bag companies come out with a little difference between each bag. This one's easy to transition if you need something faster for the next round. So It's a smart move.
I mean, so which bags do you guys like the most? What have you been?
I went back and forth. For me, I'm not a carpet guy. Like I'm just not a carpet guy. So that's the one I rated the lowest. I tried. Like when carpet was like all the rage, I tried to force myself. That's just not my game. I tend to do something better with a little bit faster. Honestly, I really like the Ruby a lot. I love that, like that Viper slick side. It's just like, for me, it's just, I know how it plays. It gets so hole forgiving, but the Wicked plays really nice too. Like you said, like that something very similar to it's like a cross between like a Surefire and a 357, like that player's material from Kill Shots. It plays really, really nice. I couldn't go wrong with either one of them. I like both of them.
And this is why we're terrible partners, because my favorite was the emerald. So
Oh,
like throwing some carpet. But like honestly, I will say all three of these bags for my rankings, they were within 6 points of each other, which is not. It doesn't happen very often, especially when you come to the fastest bag.
Correct.
Usually for me, that's like a 60. I'm throwing it out the window. Like I can't throw it; it's too fast. But dude, all three of these, I was a huge fan of, and honestly, your designs were, I mean, they were some of the highest we've had because they're sexy as fuck. Yeah. But I think both of us, if we were going to throw these in competition, the Wicked hands down would be perfect.
It's a good middle of the road for both of us. Yeah.
Because I mean, we've been known to win a tournament or two with some 357s, OG 357s.
Yes.
You know, before all the stamps and stuff, but then they got really big and weird feeling. So, but no, I quite like all three of these bags.
Ooh.
Those are cool, man.
Soon, emeralds
coming out soon.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a few different things. I wanted to show you guys. So in October, we're gonna start selling the Fuck Cancer.
Nice. Fuck Cancer bags. Those look really cool.
We have these two. That'll be both.
Those are really cool looking.
So we'll leave these up in October. I don't know if you guys know this. My mom had breast cancer, lost her battle about 7 years ago. So this actually really hits home.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna come up with a good post story for everything. We're gonna donate money to we haven't decided to which charity yet, but that's what we're doing for October. And I think these bags are gonna be definitely a hit.
So, you just let us know. We'll repost anything. We'll give any shout out you need, because honestly they look phenomenal and it's for a great cause.
We got some King's Throne here too. We got a bag. Look at that, a bag in a bag.
Bag in the bag, within a bag, within a bag.
Your guys' designs are always.
It's a bag in a bag. It's bagception. That's what we're gonna call it.
I like that. But like, right? You are more than welcome to come on anytime you want to promote anything. You just give me a call. We'll get you on the show.
We got Mike Harvey back.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh heck yeah!
Mike Harvey.
My little Mike Harvey one.
Learning plus earning, all about Mike.
And if you're listening to this podcast, you can't obviously see all these sweet designs. But if you go check out our YouTube page at BigAsp Cornhole,
he's just holding them up and rifling them off a little strange cornhole there.
Ooh,
I love it.
Cornhole. Right.
So definitely check out the bags. They have a whole bunch of stuff. Looks like in the works, so they're coming out with.
They're great bags. So
I like that design.
Definitely check them out.
Hell yeah! Where's the Wicked? Man, this one's gonna be pretty cool. I think. Just designed this today. I mean,
that is cool.
It's very similar to what everybody's doing, but why not?
It sells.
The swag bag, the diamond. We got it all.
That's cool.
Hell
yeah.
All right, well, we'll have you hang on for a second. I'm going to let everyone else go, and then we'll have you hang on just for a minute. So, well, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Thank you to the ACL and everything that they do for us, honestly. Like all Trey, Stacy, Bernie, Fred, Mike. There's probably a bunch that I've missed, but like those guys really
Dave
put
Weiser, in. Just because we like Dave. So.
Dave, yes. You guys just put in so much work, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Josh Keck, like there's too many.
There are too many. All right, folks. We will catch you guys next week. We'll have more riveting content. Catch you later.
Of course.